Well, hey everybody, this is Robert and welcome to today's show. Well, joining me today to speak about her website, sarahmaxresearch.com, and a little bit of her background is a very good writer and researcher on stuff like animal welfare and other topics of science. So I hope we find this very interesting today. And joining me all the way from deep in the heart of Europe is Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
You're so welcome. And let me just go ahead and, before we get started, share the website. That's sarahmaxresearch.com, and we'll talk about it much more during the part of the program. And let's go ahead and start out a little bit about you, Sandra. What's your background? I know you obviously you live in Europe. What's your educational and professional background?
Okay, originally I come from Serbia, Belgrade, where I studied political science, international relations, and then I did my master's studies in counterterrorism. First Islamic terrorism, and then I did a specialization on biological counterterrorism. But later I moved to Germany. Now I'm about a few years in Germany, where I work in another sector, but I'm still active in my field. I'm trying to research and to move forward with the science, because that's my first love. Mm-hmm. And I also try to stay on track and following the topics I find interesting. But actually, let's say that's my real background professional was counterterrorism.
Yeah, and just let the audience know, Sandra used to write for the website outbreaknewstoday.com, and she, I don't know, probably gave us about 10 different articles, all very interesting, a lot of them pertaining to bioterrorism.
Right.
You have quite a linguistics background. You speak a lot of languages, and besides English and Serbian, what else do you speak?
I learned German in the meantime, professional level of German now, and I also learned Arabic and Farsi. But now I don't use those two languages because I don't have such a opportunity to use them. But I learned them. Then I'm learning now Spanish. I'm trying. Wow. Yeah, and I also speak almost all Balkan languages like Croatian, Slovenian, Bosnian, but they are all similar linguistic groups, so I wouldn't put them in another group. They are all Slavic languages, and they are very similar to each other. When you speak Serbian, you naturally speak all other Balkan languages, or at least you understand them.
Yeah. Now, this really leads me to your website. It's called sarahmaxresearch.com. And it's a very interesting website. As you go through the different articles, it's very eclectic. It hops around from topic to topic, but it is all kind of related in a scientific way.
No, they should.
Well, a lot of it is, right? You speak a lot about different health issues. You speak a lot of animal issues, a lot of other. You even get a little bit political in some aspect. So it's like I said, it's a very eclectic website.
Right.
In your profile, you write that I am a writer, I am a thinker, I am a wildlife activist. I don't write about things that we do know something about. I write about things that are unknown and scary.
Right.
Is this what's behind the website? Right? Is what's the general theme in your opinion?
I wanted always to have a website that is covering everything a little bit. I didn't want to be just all over around and don't know everything about. I just wanted to touch every kind of topic which personally make an interest for me. And since I have a lot of different and diverse interests, I
Mhm.
said, okay, I can't find a website where I had everything a little bit what I'm searching personally for, and that's always a problem. I was looking some kind for Renaissance approach. You will find everything there, you know. And
Mhm.
since I like politics, I like biological weapons, I like viruses, and I said, okay, let's put everything there, and I hope they will. Every topic will find there a place. And indeed, I found, okay, that's that mixture what I need, what I want, because I like to write about things I like to read personally, and that's exactly what I found. That balance I found. I think personally I found the balance. Of course, maybe other people say, okay, that's too much of everything. I like everything structure to have it to be on another level, to be everything in details, but not one topics and not everything at once. But I wanted that pot to be a little bit mixture of everything, not boring, but a little bit thrilling. Every time something else. I have also travel reports. It's
Mhm.
it's a mixture
Yeah.
because I see myself all over a little bit.
So when you sit down at the computer, how do you decide what to write about that day?
I just wake up and I think, okay, that's something interesting. Or I watch a movie and I see some point I never knew about. Okay, that's I never heard. Then I research: is that really or something fictional, or it's really a reality? Then I think, is somebody know something about that? Then I research and I say, okay, people don't know about that. I didn't know about it. Maybe I should dig a little bit more. And so is the topic over there. I catch the topics somehow during the day. Sometimes I dream and I think, okay, that's something I need to come back and to write. I need to catch that idea because that idea is coming to me. I need to go out with that idea. The people need to know what I think, what this idea is about, because this idea wants to be by me. And so is how I pick the topics.
Yeah, very interesting. Now, I like to. We could spend all day here if we went over all the variety of topics. And clearly, we don't have that much time. But I like to go ahead and touch on a few of the topics. Some of the articles I enjoyed, and I had some interest in. And you had one article about the topic of progeria, and there's the story of Adelia Rose Williams. For listeners that aren't aware, progeria is this progressive genetic disorder that causes children to age really, really rapidly.
Right.
Sandra, what can you tell us in addition about progeria, and tell us about Adelia Rose's story?
Yeah, that actually that the topic is started not only just with Adelia Rose. I was watching the movie, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and somehow, oh, I didn't know for progeria, and I watched the movie, and it's really touched me. Then I a little bit digged because I wanted to go into this topic to see how the people who have such a kids are facing the destiny with, and then I face up with the Adelia story, and that was even more as Benjamin Button case. It touched me direct into the soul, into the heart, and I was amazed how that little girl, unfortunately, she passed away this January, and
Right.
that was for me really tragic. But she left this world so silently and so peacefully at the end, because when you see how their her parents are reacting, and they say she gave us too much of life, and she was amazing inspiration, just a warrior queen. You just ask yourself, that kid was full of life, and I am complaining about some minor things, and many people do. But Adelia, she was accepting her destiny and said, okay, I can be somewhere on the corner and be not accepted and waiting to die one day. But no, I refuse to quit so easy. I chose to fight for myself, and that's exactly what this brilliant kid did in her life. She was a really on social media star. When you watch how did presented her progeria, because we all know this progeria is not an easy illness, and that is it is caused by genetic problems with the protein laminin A, and how that has been developing on her level. When you think that those kids usually don't reach 15 years old, they are mostly with 10 years old pass away. Or Adelia had a longer life, of course, in these conditions. And when you see how she accepted her destiny, how she fought for her rights, she was so positive, she was so optimistic. And then I said, okay, this kid has a future. She was remarkable. And she said, maybe I can change, maybe I can save all the kids with progeria, she said, but at least I can show them that life could be beautiful. And that's what her parents said. They said, we had a brilliant kid, because she never complained. She said, okay, I'm here, I enjoy my life, I accept the joy of life, and I choose every day again, all over again. That's something we all need to learn, because when you think that it's a rare condition, it's a rare illness, it's not happening to everyone. They are born different, but those kids, they are not alone. They are not monsters like maybe some people, superficial people, see them. They are more than that. They can show us another world. And that's why I was impressed with this story with Adelia Rose. And really, I was so devastated to know that the little girl passed away on the 12th January this year. And I said, okay, but you will be remembered, at least in my heart. That's really one amazing story, what she shared with all of us.
Yeah, and that's quite a interesting outlook that you have concerning this. How long did Adelia live? How old was she when she passed?
Years.
How old?
15.
15. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, the reason I even know about it is because I saw you posted on one of the social media sites. So clearly you're the one person out of probably several, but you're the one person that I know of that is keeping her memory alive. And
yeah, because I really put her name on my article, because I think not because she's some child superstar. I think she's more than star. That's just inspiration itself for all of us, that we usually complain or find something to complain about. And just look at Adelia. She has a joy that we can all say, wow, we want that joy of life.
yeah.
And that's why I say she must be remarkable. And she must be that example for all other families with the similar cases, to say, we are not lost. We can still fight. That's
Right.
what my article wanted to show the world. We have a chance. As long as we want that, we have a chance.
Yep. No, I'm on the same page with you on that. Let's switch topics a little bit. And this is as I was going through your website, and I've been following it for some time, probably several years actually. And you wrote about an article about bats, and this is something I'm interested in because, as you probably know, I write quite a bit about topics of rabies, and I interview a lot of experts on rabies. So bats are very interesting to me, and but you say, which I agree, they are wrongly presented to the public and misunderstood. So, Sandra, what's the public misunderstanding about bats?
We have a two perspective. We have a pure scientific on bats and pure animal wildlife perspective. I see bats first, like an animal lover. I see bats as very important animals, because as we know, they are very important pollinators. And that's, for me, as a natural lover and animal lover, is very important fact, that they need their place in this ecosystem, first of all, because without bats, we wouldn't have many interesting plants like agave, like guava, like banana, because the bats are their crucial pollinators. And usually we forget about that when we think, okay, that's a disaster, or that's terrible. Animal is again bringing some virus. People usually think that if you see somewhere bats, I know here, I know everywhere in Serbia and Europe, and I guess in America too, they always think that bats is like a reservoir of virus, which it is. Of course, I don't neglect that. And I don't say it's not. I don't deny that's true. But should we ask ourselves why those bats are around us? That's my question. That's my point. Because in a normal situation, when everything is running fine, when there is no greed from people and there are no conquiring of natural habits of animals, they would be there where they belong to, and they wouldn't be in our cities so much, and they wouldn't bring the virus to visit us. That's my problem when I say they are wrongly understood, because as we know, many tropical forests are destroyed. When we talk, they are natural reservoirs or virus. You, as an expert, know that better as I am. But as you know, we destroyed nature. Then we ask ourselves why those animals are coming back to us, are coming into our neighborhood, and probably bring something scary to us. That's what I say they are wrongly misunderstood. I'm not saying they should be all over and protected, and we shouldn't do anything about that. When they are too much, of course, something must be done, and we should protect ourselves as a people and our health. That's definitely priority. I don't say that, but there are also some kind of interspecies understanding, and that's what we need to know. Those borders. I always put in articles. We need to respect the borders between us and wildlife. And long time ago, those borders are destroyed. I don't find them anymore, and that's why we have a conflict. That's why we have so many infectious disease. That's why this rise of microbes. That's my opinion personally, of course, based on the many things I read and how I see them. But I think that if we have a bats all over here, we don't need to destroy them. There are many experts. We can call them and say, okay, we found one bat. I don't want to touch him, or I don't need to touch him, but please, can you take care of that? Because there are all over wildlife specialists, but there are people who see bats and they are automatically want to kill that. Why would I kill a bat? That's my first question. Why would anyone do that? We have a wildlife specialist who would take care of that. I don't need to take him with me in bed. No way. That's a respect for nature, but I don't need to kill that. You know what I mean? In what direction I put my opinion? If you have a question, you can ask me.
No. I like to let the guests talk and express everything they need to say. Yeah.
It's just my opinion. I see for every creature a place and a significant role in our system, and I'm for that we put again those borders between the species. That's the habitat of bat. That's the habitat of people. Of course, we can live in some kind of symbiotic harmony. That's not a problem. But people also need to learn to respect those borders.
Mm-hmm. Well, and part of the issue is like as you said, the borders are less than they used to be, and we do see the outcome of that. We do see much more zoonotic diseases
Right.
because of that. Because as the human population continues to spread out, they're going to spread into areas where they intermingle more with creatures that they didn't typically intermingle with. So, I mean, that is a risk, and that's something that needs to be respected. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I need to emphasize. It's always that the border we need to again redefine between species, so
Yeah.
we avoid the future problems.
Well, the next topic I wanted to talk about, and prior to the pandemic, I never even knew this animal existed. I'm sure a lot of people were like that too. It's a kind of a strange looking animal. It's called the pangolin, and it received quite a bit of attention in the early stages of the pandemic when some people were saying it's a possible source of the virus. Of course, that turned out not to be true. But Sandra, you delved into a much bigger problem with the pangolin, and that's the illegal trade of this animal, uh, predominantly on the continents of Africa and Asia.
Right.
What's happening with the pangolin?
The whole reflection on pangolin problem started with COVID-19, but the real problem has been there for years, because wildlife black market is there for years, especially in Asia, as you said, China and Vietnam, and there are also Africa. Problem with Africa is that they usually don't use such pangolins for themselves, but they want to use pangolins to earn the money from China. And problem is, China believes that pangolins and the components of pangolins and some part of the pangolins can help them to be a better health, to have a better health, a better potential, better low health risks. And that's what Chinese and Vietnam people believe. And of course, they go forward with such ideas and create the perfect conditions for a black market for pangolins. And those animals, they have a problem to produce themselves, to reproduce themselves. And if you have an illegal trade like we have with the pangolins for years, then you come to the situation that this type of animals is really endangered. And with COVID,
Sandra, can I interrupt you real quick? What are they looking for? Is it just for the scales, or is there for something else?
For skin, some part of the skin, because that's helping. They are producing special powder for medicaments. That's all what Chinese folk medicine is based on. But we all know that not only pangolins, there are other animals, they are also suffering because of such beliefs. And that's what I'm emphasizing. We should really work about that to einfach demystify those myths, so we can protect our wildlife. We should push pressure on China to stop that. China has promised that they are working on protection, and they even put the pangolins on the priority list of protection officially. Non-officially, I still don't believe that anything changed in that land, and there are still people who will try online to get the pangolins or the parts of the pangolins. And in the black market and online illegal trade, you can still find parts of the pangolins that that are smuggled, that you can get for a big amount of money, and that's still circulating in spite of all efforts from Europe, from United States, that to be stopped. It's still nothing. They are expecting international organization that by the end of this year we would put this problem on track and have a controlled everything what's happening with pangolins. But personally, I don't believe that this will be solved. I still believe that in the future it will be demand for this animal, because we can't simply erase the problem. We can't simply erase the people belief that this animal will save their life with such a component which only this animal has. It must be worked on education for people. It must show them the science has another replies, and not that what some kind of primitive medicine is searching for. And that's.
Sandra, is there any place in the world? Does anybody utilize a pangolin as sustenance, as actual food, or is it just for the black market?
In Africa, it used to be a bushmeat at the beginning, right? Yeah. And they are still. I mean, we all know that bushmeat itself is not perfect. It's not a good choice because of transmissible zoonotic diseases. And I would say that in Africa, in Congo especially, there are things that must be educated. The people must be educated that pangolin is not solution for them. For example, they only want a full stomach, and that's everything is fine. I understand that they need to eat, but I also don't understand that we can tolerate that one animal is almost on the extinction and we still don't do anything. You know, it's still education. I always say education must go for, because if we want something to change, we need to educate people that this, what they do now, won't solve their problems.
So I'm speaking to Sandra. Sandra runs the website. It's sarahmaxresearch.com, and I encourage you to check it out. There's a lot of good stuff on there. And like I said in the beginning, it's very eclectic. And so there's a topic for everybody. Let me go ahead and jump back to one of your articles. And this is a little bit more positive than some of the stuff we've been talking about. And
Yeah.
the topic is about Manuka honey. And I wrote about this several years ago too. Sandra, from your research, what makes Manuka honey so special?
I must say, I heard from Manuka Honey for 2 years. Totally, I was reading one article, and that was immediately the small comment about Manuka Honey. And then I said, okay, why I never heard about that? I was somehow ashamed that I didn't know for that before. And then I read, okay, that's one New Zealand honey, but what is so different about from what we have here? All honey is a normally very, very healthy healthy food and healthy nutrition, but Manuka honey has something else. First of all, I was amazed that this tea bush, which is producing special flowers for Manuka honey, is only flowering and blooming 12 days in a year. That means only once a year that flower is giving us that special let's say elements what bees can process and give us later honey. That's why Manuka honey is not really cheap. I asked one producer here in Germany why Manuka honey is so expensive. The reply was because it only happens once a year. It's so rare, it's so special and exclusive almost, because it's only this flower, it's only in New Zealand and one part of Australia, and nowhere else in the world. And that's exactly what is rare about Manuka. But the next point about Manuka is, of course, this special enzyme, which is anti-inflammatory. That means if we took regularly Manuka honey, that means that we can improve our immune system, which is in this world very important. When we have so much pharmaceutical solutions for our immune system, which I am against that, because I am always for the natural things that we try to work on that before it's too late. Better to have prevention or to cure later. So I really started for 2 years with Manuka honey to take regularly, but only because Manuka honey is so categorized that if you want Manuka just for prevention, this Manuka honey has a reduced enzyme, anti-inflammatory enzyme. But if you are sick or you have a really some kind of difficult illness, then you need to increase that enzyme, MGO enzyme, and that's how it works. Normally, for normally healthy person, you don't need some increased level of MGO enzyme for Manuka honey, so you need to take ordinary Manuka honey. That's what I am taking almost 2 years, and I also tested that it has a healing possibility, because my bunny has been operated. It was a surgery, and he has opened a wound, which I need to heal every day. And of course, I did that only with Manuka honey. It was healed with no problems. I was amazed how that little bit of honey simply is curing the wound without any other medical treatment after. That's amazing. That's a nature treasure, really.
So there's antimicrobial aspects to Manuka honey too. Yeah.
It keeps infection away, simply because I was worried after the surgery, post-operative process by animals is almost like a people. They can be infected very, very fast because it's open wound. I tried to treat with Manuka honey. It was away. It was everything so fine and healed. It was like a miracle. I said, okay, that's a natural miracle. And I was testing myself with my animals, and I said that that's something I have never believed, because I'm not such a kind of natural freak and a heal practitioner and everything is perfect. But in this case, I must say, that's almost like a science, like a pharma itself, but not a pharma, nature medicament, really pure nature medicament. And it's worth of every penny, as you say, really. That explains everything, that we have many answers in the nature. We just need to search for them. That's why I'm amazed with Manuka honey.
Yeah, it was a very interesting article. Again, I encourage everybody to check out Sandra's website. And the last piece that I want to talk about, it was ironic, I guess. In August 2019, you wrote a piece that asked the question, what if microbes break out of the lab? So the timing was amazing, to say the least. Sandra, what prompted you to write this article at that time? It was just a coincidence?
I'm asking myself for years, what's happened when we get some kind of virus XYZ? I'm asking myself for years, when we will get that unknown virus. That's what I'm researching, let's say, for years. And I'm following some kind of happenings in the world, how everything is changing our ecosystem, how everything is changing politics. And I'm pretty much sure that many countries working on their biological technology, on their biological weapons program. And I'm not a conspiracy theory follower, but from everything I learned and read, I believe that they are actively working on that. But as you said, I wrote in that moment because I'm pretty much sure that what's happening with Corona is just an introduction into some bigger what is coming. And I'm not saying that virus will go away from the lab, but it can go away from laboratory. Who guarantee us that everything is perfect in laboratories? Of course, they are working under maximum hazard preconditions, and everything is perfect. They have perfect protection, but everyone can make a mistake. I'm always saying everyone is we as a human beings, we are not free from mistakes. That can be a human factor, that can be a technological factor, and as soon as we have a germ outside, we have a problem. And I'm not saying now that virus X could come from the nature. That could also happen. I agree. But on the other side, what if really virus or bacteria or some kind of hybrid is outside? Then we will have a real problem. And that's why I also say we just need more transparency for such a kind of sector. We just need more transparency to know what's really happening behind the curtains of biological research. And I also would like to say we need to control more online world. What's also happening? Don't forget that we have a Tor, we don't have a darknet and such a thing. You wouldn't believe what I heard that people are talking about. That's amazing. That's what kind of ideas are circulating about biological weapons. And you never know who will finally make that a trigger. And we have one agent outside, biological agent outside, and we have a pretty much a tough job to do, to close it, to stop it, and to deal with the consequences. Because let's just say some virus like a filovirus, like Ebola or Marburg, is outside, or smallpox, or the factor and possibility for such a things to happen. They are everything. I think every year they are bigger chance that we get that. That's simply. I will keep following that. The situation, what's happening, because virus 6 is definitely coming, and I'm pretty much sure about that. For everything what's happening, zoonotic disease on the rise, the destruction of habitat, it's not something that we will we will go through without being punished for that. That's my conviction as someone who has read a lot about that, someone who has wrote a lot of articles on that topic. We just need to deal in the future more with epidemics and pandemics, as we taught in back. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and you're not alone. A lot of people think about this and speculate on it. And there's been a lot of articles recently that people are predicting that Nipah virus would be the next one. Not sure if it's transmissible enough. I guess I lean more towards a more pathogenic type of influenza. That would be the bad one. I mean, we have a lot of avian influenzas circulating throughout the planet right now, and it wouldn't take much to get the transmissibility.
Yeah, from one.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we just have to be alert, and
we just have to change some pattern of behavior like we did till now, and to change something we have a chance to change ourselves like a human species, and to do something else to change our opinion about the world around. We need to learn to respect what we have, and then there is a chance that we avoid that problem in the future. That's my opinion. I'm still optimist.
That's good. I'm glad you are. Sandra, what's life been like in Serbia, Germany during the pandemic?
Yeah, I was in the both lands during pandemic, and since I live in Germany, I visited also family in Serbia, and I must say that Germany has a little bit. Germany took a little bit more responsibility for COVID, so we had a little bit more limitations in one period of time, as we know, lockdowns and such things. But still, we could live our lives. It still hasn't been so much a pressure on us. I would say I didn't feel so much isolation in that period of time. You could go with your life. Change something that that most of the companies allowed home office, which I find perfect, because that was the first time when they say, okay, you can fully do your home office. And now they kept that. Even now, when everything is so slowly go back to normal, they kept home office, which is perfect for many employers, of course. Serbia, on the other side, they had a mixture of lockdowns, not lockdowns, then freedom, then again lockdowns, one kind of flexible approach to the COVID. But now people in Germany, there are many people are vaccinated, and Serbia, many refuse to be vaccinated. So of course, it's a more freedom in Serbia to not accept vaccination. It's more isolation in Germany if you don't accept vaccination. And that's the big difference between one approach to the medical, to the public health. But personally, I don't see some kind of limitation. The most problematic thing is that you can travel so easy as earlier. You are still limited. You must follow the regulation of every country, and you see, okay, can I go there, or I can go there, or I'm a risk area, or they won't allow me there. You need to direct your travels according to the regulation of COVID. Corona is still coordinating a lot of things, but they are pretty much life is going back to normal, I would say, and that's what matters at all. Somehow we are learning to go from those lockdown opinion and everything, and those lockdown mood to the life we used to have, or we hope we did have.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. It's kind of like that here in the States too. Some states have been much stricter with mitigations and lockdowns and stuff like that. And where I live, my life has been normal since May of 2020.
But
Yeah,
life more.
Yeah, nothing really changed. We had, I don't know, about 7 weeks of really some strictness, and then after that, life's been back to normal. So
That's
Yeah,
I,
so I feel blessed about that.
I wouldn't complain.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get the website up there again. It's sarahmaxresearch.com, and I'll go ahead and link to it. When I publish the podcast, it'll be in the show notes. And I want to thank you, Sandra, for joining me today and sharing
Aaron,
how sarahmaxresearch.com.
yeah, catch a look, and I'm glad I shared my opinion with you, and thank you for your time and great question and your super show. Let's hope for a better cooperation in the future without Corona.
All right. There you go. All right. Thanks, Sandra. I appreciate your time.
Ciao.